And it looks like we are live, so I'm going to say hello everyone and welcome to a terrible stream for terrible people. How are we doing this fine Monday? We're not too far off told Christmas now, are we? I found out that the hard way by having to go Christmas shopping with the kids over the weekend, and that was a whole thing. It is amazing just how much this shit sneaks up on you when you do an old and you're not as excited about it as your kids are. But hopefully it will be a good one for them. But yeah, it was my weekend. Actually, no, to be fair, my weekend was me being good, doing good things, doing the correct things, going to see friends and going to see technically Mrs. Six's family, but still, they technically count as family. And doing all the right things. And then I was like, right, trying to set myself up to get a proper night's sleep. Didn't go to bed early for a little bit. Think, I'm gonna fucking slam to sleep tonight. And then the kids started puking themselves crazy because we'd gotten some food at a perfectly reason. I mean, lots of people were eating there. It's just a fast food place. It should have been fine, but no. Got them back home, and yes, had to spend half the night taking care of them so they didn't puke themselves inside out. It was fun, apart from the fact that it wasn't. But yeah, I was absolutely shattered as well. So I was literally, I would fall asleep and then I'd hear the girls puking and I'd wake up and go and help them. So yeah, how's your weekend been? Mine was fucking annoying. Puke is always fun. It's one of the worst things. Like having kids. I thought poop would be bad, but honestly, even diarrhea wasn't that big a deal to deal with in a nappy. Because I guess because it comes in its little enclosed space, you can like pretty quickly deal with it. I mean, occasionally there was the odd poop explosion. Those were never fun to deal with. But vomit is always bad if it's not directly into some sort of container. Thankfully, we've taught my kids to be just like me, and that I have almost, like, in the entire time Mrs. Sick has known me, I have only puked outside of a receptacle like once. Because it's just like the laws. There's two type of pukers: the people who will just sit there and let it fall down themselves.
Me.
That's not true. You're pretty good at getting,
No,
but
when I'm drunk, I'm not.
yeah, you have puked on the floor significantly more times than me, which is any amount of times more than one. But you do try, or you do ask for buckets and stuff. There is literally a bucket that exists in the bedroom that is, sometimes it has other stuff in it when it shouldn't. It is basically there, so if Mrs. Sick is sick, she could just lean over the side of the bed.
Because I can't tell when I need to vomit until it's too late.
And Ralph. Poop Explosion sounds like something you sell tickets to. It is definitely not something you would want to buy tickets to. Oh my god, never fun. And the good Lord did decree there shall be no projectile vomiting on the floor. And all the congregation said amen. Except for that one guy. Except that one guy in the corner who then puked all over himself and everyone else had to clean it up.
You might hear weird screeching noises. It's because I'm scrapbooking.
Yeah, Miss Sick is currently making a very fun and thoughtful gift for her sister. She found basically the scrapbook from Up, but empty, and she's putting pictures from her and her sister's various excursions over the years. And the plan is that she starts it and then she gives it to her sister and said, look at these little memories we have, because that's the whole thing, isn't it? It's about the memories, and then she can fill in the rest herself. So basically she's giving her work for Christmas, the worst kind of present. I genuinely, it's very rare that you give me something that I have to make myself that I'll be happy about it. You what?
You don't like it, so don't do that.
Well, I wasn't expecting it from you. Family members do that.
No, yeah, I know that. And I've seen your reaction. So I was like, okay, click the checkbox. Do not get sick this.
I like the idea of some of them. My brother got me this robot like 2 Christmases ago. it has barely started and half the work was Mrs. Sick, because I was like, I had it all laid out. The fucking instructions for this thing is the worst possible way it could have humanly been. It's a giant fucking poster, and it's in many, many bits. This is a thing that you have to fucking build. It's practically Lego. And yeah, I was like, I would love to build this and follow the instructions, but they're on a goddamn fucking... Oh my god, it's so big. It's just... I can't believe of all the ways. And I looked it up online. I was like, right, well, okay, this is what you get with it. And it's kind of cute, and you could put it on your wall if you really liked it. But surely if I go onto their website and I fucking look up the thing, it'll be a manual in like individual pages, like a reasonable fucking human being. But no, it just gave me another copy of the poster, which I then tried to turn. This is how much work I put into trying to build this fucking thing. I turned it into several sheets of paper, but it looked so bad, and all the fucking fonts were such hugely different sizes, because it was all... it wasn't just a poster. It was in such a random order of how you follow it. Just, if you're going to release something like that, have one way that's really easy to follow. Don't be fancy. Don't try and be cute and try and be clever. It's fucking annoying. Yeah. The only other thing, it's usually my brother who gets me these things, and I love the idea of them. I also have a Bluetooth speaker that I need to build, but I need to solder it together. Now I did use, and he got me a soldering iron, and it came with this kit. I did use the soldering iron to build, to rebuild Game Boy Advance. Now that was a good project. I think it's more that it has to be something that I already want to do. I didn't have any concept of building myself a robot. I didn't have any concept. I have Bluetooth speakers. Now, I'm sure that if I built it eventually, I'd be like, yeah, I'm actually really pleased with myself. But will I? I think he might have figured that out, though, because the last present he got me was the 8-bit do Commodore 64 style keyboard. No construction required. It is a keyboard that you can take the keycaps and the shit out. So I could fuck with it, but I don't have to. And that's the ideal for me. Something that you don't have to fuck with to actually enjoy the thing. But if you do fuck with it, then you get a chance to enjoy it more. And I think that's really how to do it. Thoughts on TFF? Do you mean the final experiment? I have a video on it. Where I talk to someone who says, oh, it's not going to do anything, fuck you. And I kind of think it's dumb from both regards. Mostly because, not because like the inherent concept of it isn't going to be interesting, but because so many people have told me, oh, it's going to kill the flat earth. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, fucking isn't. These people have had facts right in front of them at their very fingertips for basically decades now, and they still will just believe whatever the fuck they want to believe. That's how it works. So anything can be excused when you're a flat earther. It's not even that stupid never dies a madman. It's that people who want to be the willfully ignorant will be ignorant willfully. They that's what they're there for. They like the idea of knowing something other people don't. I think is a big part of it. I bet the robot was entirely useless too. Probably couldn't even go back in time and kill people who annoy you before they were born. It definitely wasn't a little Terminator. It is a cute little robot, and you can control it with a phone, and it has a camera on it. It's like pretty cool. Haven't finished it. I mean, it might not even work, to be honest. But yeah. Do you think other studios should be allowed to take a crack at Lord of the Rings? Yes. What's allowed about it? I think anybody should be allowed, if they have the resources and the talent to make something good. I also like new things. I even like things that are like the initial thing is garbage, but then some absolute mad lad makes something really good out of it, a la Arcane, the League of Legends thing, which we're slowly but surely still working our way through because it's really, really good. It's just every time it comes up, it goes, a League of Legends story, and you're like, why'd you have to ruin it like that? It's one of the things, I had to work really, really hard to get a copy of Avatar, because Avatar The Last Airbender, the fucking cartoon TV series, none of the other things, the initial run is phenomenal. It is such a good show. But everything I was able to access it on, it had that fucking Nickelodeon splash screen at the start, which is so obnoxious and distracting. It actually genuinely took just a little bit away from the show. I found it without that on some kind of way of accessing it like that, where someone had removed them all, and it's fucking brilliant. It's got a little bit right at the end, but that's only if you don't skip the fucking credits. Bob and his laser gyros. Thanks, Bob. Okay. Ever seen Rankin Bass Hobbit movie? Do you mean one of the really old Hobbit movies? There's like the one that's half cartoon, half sort of live action, but not. It's fucking abysmal to watch. I mean, it's quite memeable, but I haven't seen that one. I don't know. You might be talking about something else. Has anyone seen Grand Theft Hamlet yet? That sounds amazing. That is one of the best names for something. Forsooth, I hath a rocket launcher. I will blow up the fuck out of a helicopter. I assume that's one of the lines. Anyway, first time Flurfers really fucked up was the time with the laser thingy he bought for about $30,000, and it proved the Earth round. I assume that because they're so incompetent and don't know how things work, most of the time they either assume they didn't know how it works, or assume that it's wrong and evil and designed to trick them. You know, because it has to be something. Worst pseudo anime ever, Speed Racer. Speed Racer is amazing. I mean, it's not good, but it's amazing. First live, glad I caught you. I mean, not good, but if you've been here before without it being live, you get the gist. It's not good, but I will react to you, so that's different. I went to see Nosferatu. I want to see Nosferatu, but I'm afraid it will suck. Are you talking about the old one, or is there a new Nosferatu?
The new one.
Okay. Just watch the old one and pretend you've watched the new one. I love the fact that I think it isn't anymore, but for like years and years until really recently, Nosferatu was still an 18, which is fucking hilarious. It's just one of the funniest. It's so like you compare it to any modern 18, it's like, yeah, this is not the same. Have I ever hired a private stripper? I haven't even hired a public stripper. I've never hired any kind of stripper. Honestly, pretty sure I've never even hired any kind of sex worker whatsoever. Just haven't really felt the need. I have been accosted by one outside a bus station at like 2 a.m, asking if I knew anybody who wanted any business, and I was like, no, I'm good, thanks. And then she asked if I wanted some business, and I'm like, no, I am good, thanks. I think she was trying to get the attention of the person cleaning the bus station, so I'm sure her life was going great. Good day, Drongos. Oh, offensive. I heard we're getting a remake of American Werewolf in London. Why? That movie's still like really good. That's
already
one of the
perfect.
That's a movie though that as a kid I found that movie fucking terrifying because it has its moments. And then
when did you watch it? Because I watched it when I was like 10.
I watched it. Well, if you watched it at 10, I would have at least had the ability to be significantly younger than that, like 5 or 6. So,
because I found it great. I was like captivated by it.
But I was little.
Yeah.
I was little when I first saw that movie. I was probably way too fucking young to watch that movie.
We were on about this the other day though, with the Who Framed Roger Rabbit scene.
Oh yeah. Oh, the fucking I can't remember the name of the character. The bad guy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit being run over. That's a viscerally horrifying scene. And both me and Mrs. Sick, when we first saw it, at our respective whatever age we first saw it,
I was really young.
That did horrible things to our brains.
Screaming. I couldn't. Yeah. I was like, oh my god.
And you just see him go under, and that game does not give a shit. There's so many films that would not. They would have cut away. You'd have seen so much less than that. Still pissed we aren't getting 28 months later. I think we are, aren't we? Or have they cancelled that? There was a whole thing about shooting it on iPhones. As I understand. No, the character wasn't called Christopher Lloyd. That's the actor.
I thought they did it, but they were doing
Judge Doom. Thank you.
I thought they were doing 28 years later, not months.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just hope it's not Doctor Doom either, for fuck's sake. I'm pretty sure it's Iron Man. It's Jessica Rabbit. Oh yeah, the villain. I had no idea at the time, but when I got to the hotel room at my friend's bachelor party, I found out that someone had hired a stripper. Now you say that. You've been in the presence of a stripper. No, to be fair, both Mrs. Sick and I have been in the presence of a stripper. We were there at the same time. It was definitely closer to a joke stripper, and it was for a family. Like, basically, Mrs. Sick's mum hired this person. So I'm not sure how much it counted, but it was
of the mature persuasion.
Yeah, and he was very young, like in his early 20s. It was entirely supposed to be humorous. I think it was funny with alcohol. In hindsight, it was very, very awkward. Yeah. I want to open a shop that presses suit pants. I would call it Iron Man. See what I did there? Never mind. You should feel bad. I too have been in the presence of a stripper. Now, who hired it? Yeah, so I don't even know how we got into the stripper things. Made you feel new feelings? Yeah, disgust, horror, terror.
Like, I get doing it as a joke, but you know, because the whole point is it's supposed to be kind of awkward. But you get people who
I'm
like.
Pretty sure it's not supposed to be kind of awkward. I think it's supposed to be sexy, but it's not.
It?
I mean, the person that your
sexy?
Mother hired was probably not entirely supposed to. I mean, there's people who would enjoy it.
I don't know why.
But I think if you hire like
you're doing it in front of your friends who are all like going, "Wait!" Like I don't see how that's appealing.
I think if you hired a porn star-esque stripper / like a glamour model-esque stripper, I think it's supposed to be sexy. I would find it equally awkward. Like, I've never even considered going to a strip club. Like, if someone brought it up, I'd be like, can we do like literally anything else? It just, I don't know. It doesn't seem like fun. It seems like someone in here is masturbating. I wish I was somewhere else. Like, that's a fact. You can't go. If you're going there because, haha, isn't this funny? Someone in there is masturbating right now. How do you feel about that? I wouldn't go anywhere if I was 100% sure that in an open space there was another person who I could probably make eye contact with who was jerking it. That's not my idea of a good time. I like to go places where those people get kicked out. I'm completely honest.
Yeah, but you had no trouble like getting women, so.
Hey, I could get guys too.
Well, yeah, I know that.
How many godless heathens are looking forward to Christmas? I'm looking forward to it for the kids. And yeah, we're not doing the we don't do the Jesus bit. Pretty sure he wouldn't either. Mostly because he's not real. Haha, owned. I cry. Why do you hate me, sick my God? Well, if I'm anything like the Christian God, it's because I'm a piece of shit and I just want to drown humans. Which is the one thing about him that I can really relate to. Honestly, strip clubs are raunchy and uncomfortable. I don't know if I'd find it even raunchy. Like, raunchy has some positive connotations, at least from my use of the word. And it's like, it wouldn't be in any way, shape, or form erotic or arousing or titillating or any of those sexy words. It would just be, oh, right, there's a chick with her tits out over there. Okay. Oh, she's spinning on a pole. Awesome.
I don't know if I could, like, if I went to a place like that, I couldn't help myself by shouting boobs every 5 seconds.
I definitely wouldn't go to one with a fucking buffet.
Oh my god, no!
I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke, but I'm not sure it isn't.
Do not mix.
And that just horrifies me. I'm glad I catch the stream. I mean, you really should just let it go into the toilet. I don't think you can catch it. I think it's just going to go. Raunchy was a song by guitarist Dwayne Eddy. I do not know how to say names, apparently. Awesome. Titillating. Very, very well done. Vulpix, you did well. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't feed sick whiskey after a nightclub. Well, I just go in there first. I mean, to be fair, if I've gone to a nightclub, by the time I get home, it's sleep time. Like, if we're getting home at like 2 a.m, I'll either want takeaway or I'll want sleep or I want both. Usually just chips. Man, I love chips when I'm pissed. They're so good. One time I overheard some dude say, "Let's go to the strip club and make the strippers cry. I don't know how or why." What the fuck? That is... that's really fucked up. It's a little bit funny, but it's mostly fucked up. I stopped going to clubs when the strippers started asking me out. That breaks the illusion. Are you sure they asked you out or they asked you to get out? Not quite the same thing. Just letting you know. Surely strippers get trolled all the time. I'm sure they do. But it's kind of a fucked up thing to do. Like, if that's your idea of a good time, you're probably an asshole. Like, you're probably a giant fucking asshole. If you go, being a stripper is not most people's idea of the career that they wanted, and to go there and to be an asshole about it, like, if it makes you feel like a big man, you're probably a small man. That's all you need to know.
Don't they earn like absolute bank though?
I think they can, but not necessarily. Like, you've got to bear in mind that these places are run by
they're very
people.
competitive as well.
I'm sure some places do. I'm sure some places don't. Last time I went to see Rippers, one of them had a water gun and let us squirt her in the hooper. I'm sorry, what's a hooper? Is it what I think it is? There's one main thing that I'm thinking when I hear hooper to describe, I'm assuming, a part of a person. I could even be wrong about that. I don't know. There's a strip club in Atlanta that allows college students in for free. Why? They haven't got any money. Unless it's...
That's why.
I mean, I guess that's the only way to get them in.
Get them loyal.
Get them loyal while they're young and stupid. Seriously, their website has translation services and buy vids of me. What is translation services in that regard? Is it because they're like foreign? They don't speak the English, but they might... Well, they don't speak fluent English, or maybe they do, and because they're, I don't know, from Romania or something. Oh, by the way, I have these abilities. I might as well sell myself doing that. I don't fucking know. Or is it like a cover? Oh yeah, I hired a translator the other day, if you know what I mean, and everyone's like, "No, I don't know what you mean. The fuck are you talking about?"
Asshole. And personally, I like the word asshole more than hooper.
Hooper is for a butthole. That's just so odd. I mean, at least it's clean. From an Australian, I can tell you that's just a pub. In rural Queensland. We've got to be specific about which part of Australia. Australia is a big fucking place. I'm sure it can be quite different from place to place. I heard they allow you to smack their asses. From what I know of strip clubs, which is entirely based on TV, films and video games, you don't touch the girls, as they say, or you get in trouble. A big guy comes along and he beats the fuck out of you. That's all I know about them. So that's the other thing, because that's entirely what I know of these places. Like, you'd be afraid to fucking bump into people. So you bump into a stripper and some guy fucking shoulder checks you out of the house. House? Building. Whatever, you know what I mean. Better topless than down under. I mean, it depends what you want to see, I guess. Dude, I saw a car today. It tickled me. The Kia R-Soul. I hope that's not a joke. That's fucking brilliant if that is entirely what it is. This is the Kia R-Soul. I mean, now you just need to change the first, like the semi.
Marketing team knew what they were doing.
What someone here needs to do is they need to start a car company called Semi. And then you know what to call a car from a few years from now, and then everyone will buy it for the memes. It's a fact, backed up by science. That's how it works. Our souls flying through the air. Oh, yes, of course. Never been to a strip club. Why would I sit in a room full of men with stiffies? Exactly. I can't even fathom it. And one of them is definitely jerking off, at least, if not more. Even if it's underclothes, it's just not good. It's gross. Not my idea of a good time. I would much rather go to an arcade or something probably equally likely to get me some kind of disease from touching things, but much more fun. No touching the girls results in memory loss and loss of dexterity of your hands. But if you're paying, she can touch you. But it's a one-way relationship, or so I'm told. So you're told. Yeah, of course. I believe you. What is your favourite debate video most funny? No idea. I don't really watch debate videos. It's not really my thing. I'm more likely to watch some sort of conversation. I've watched a lot of videos where people are like having a chat. I guess if you want, I don't know, the only debate videos I ever seem to watch are usually being broken down after the fact, and demonstrated why one side doesn't have a fucking clue how debates work. But that's mostly sort of an academic endeavor. I'm just interested in how not to fuck up too hard. But no, I don't really like debates. Are not a thing I find that interesting. And people get super mad. I say people. Some people get super mad at me when I say that internet debates have little value, which is true. There are debates that have good value, but I'm not particularly interested in those either. But like internet debates are wank because they're almost always fucking screaming matches, and they're just, I don't know. I could picture myself being there and I would fucking hate it. Plus, I get people constantly coming up to me and saying, "Oh, you should debate the guy that I like that you criticised here." I said, "Well, why didn't you just fucking tell me something I said wrong?" And they're like, "Oh, you debate, bro." So, just shut the fuck up. Oh, debate me bros are literally the worst part of the internet, probably by some degree. Only because even though there are people with probably worse opinions than any given debate me bro, debate my mum, every bad part of the internet has debate me bros. Every good part of the internet has debate me bros. Debate me bros are kind of universal. There are atheist debate me bros. There are creationist debate me bros. There are fucking terrible, awful, racist debate me bros. Like, you could just have any kind of person, no matter where they're kind of coming from, and they'll be like, "You should debate though," and it's like, what purpose would that serve apart from making a shitty video? Hulk versus Superman debate me bro. I know that Superman would probably win, but that's because he's like super fucking busted. Debase me bro. Now see, that's something I could be on board with. I have debates playing as background noise. The line isn't terrible depending on who's hosting. Isn't that less? I mean, that's certainly not a proper debate thing. It's just someone talking up and saying, "Here's my idea," and they go, "Okay, you're wrong because of this," or maybe you made a good point, or whatever. Again, it's not something I'm super interested in. I don't like call-in shows either. I like very specific things. I usually like people talking about, I don't know, a piece of technology for the most part, or a video game that I like. Like, I will listen to some asshole ramble on and on and on for hours and hours about a game I really like. But having two people having, like, a hostile conversation about something that I might not care that much about, or is only a small part. Like, I like what I do because it usually covers, like, a lot of points. But a lot of debates will just go in circles as well, which is just maddening. And when they don't go in circles, it's because people are getting off topic, which is even more annoying. I don't know. Like I said, I'm sure I don't need to justify myself that I don't like a thing that I don't do and don't participate in.
An actual debate, not just people having a conversation, would have a mediator to keep people on topic.
Yes, but I also just wouldn't watch that. So if I wouldn't watch the good ones, then I'm not going to watch the bad ones.
Like, I like watching the Alex O'Connor conversations.
But those are conversations, as a general rule.
I like them because they are just interesting for philosophy-based stuff.
Yeah, I've watched a few of his stuff, and it's generally pretty good. Although, to be fair, probably my favourite, just for the sheer what the fuck factor, is when he did it with Hitchens' brother.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Hitchens. That is fascinating. Because you can just tell... In a way, you can tell how it went wrong, and at the same time, it's so hard to tell how it went so wrong. But if you haven't seen it, that's really worth watching.
He was a knobhead from the beginning, to be honest.
It's as my understanding of Peter Hitchens, after
literally the first thing he said was like, "Oh, welcome to the show." You went, "Oh, so far so good," and I'm like, "Oh."
He's quite an arrogant man, as far as I can tell, who has very, very high opinion of himself. And that can be quite interesting. But yeah, he got so pissed off and walked off. Yeah, it's about 20 minutes in, and the whole fucking video is like an hour long. So 20 minutes in, he loses his shit. And part of it seems like he's going to start a fight with him, which is so weird. Like, he wants... I don't know. When people are being irrational and they're upset and they're looking for like a response and they're not getting given it, it's such a fascinating thing to watch, I'll be honest. A debate about whether or not God made cheap whiskey bad on purpose or not. Depends on the cheap whiskey, to be honest. There are cheap whiskies that are pretty okay. There are cheap whiskies that are fucking abysmal, that are basically turpentine, but I've drunk a lot of them. They're still better than a lot of other alcohols, in my opinion, especially ones that I don't like. I will take a cheap whiskey over gin. I dislike gin immensely. That flavour is just... I don't know how anybody else likes it, but I'm glad that they do and that they have a thing that they can ruin their palate with. Who do you think would win in a death battle? Monkey D. Luffy or Mr. Fantastic? Well, considering most of the time comic book characters are way more broken than most anime characters, probably Mr. Fantastic without knowing enough about either of them. But that's purely an uneducated guess. But I would definitely prefer Monkey D. Luffy because he is just such an unbelievably lovable character. Worst whiskey you have ever drank and worst alcohol ever. Well, again, I'm not a big fan of gin, although a good gin and tonic can be okay, tolerable even. Worst whiskey. Probably something in a blended scotch. Those can be pretty fucking nasty if they're really cheap. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I mean, I've had whiskey that has had the Tesco logo, Tesco Value logo on it. You could tell that that's not going to be a good time. Worst LSD trip? No. As in, never had one. Don't really plan on having one either. Mr. Fantastic is also a genius beyond some cosmic level beings. Yeah, I'm vaguely aware. I don't know who Mr. Terrific is. If you're going to start bringing out fucking... Like, I'm not a huge comic book nerd by any stretch of the imagination. I know a few characters here and there. And I've watched a decent amount of, like, anything animated. Like shows and, like, DC... Like, the DC animated universe. I've watched a lot of that.
Justice League.
But,
way too much Justice League.
And Young Justice. Actually, really good series.
You keep trying to get me to watch.
I've told you that it's good, and you said I should watch that to see what it's all about.
Yeah, but I'd only watch it with you. That's not the type of thing I'd watch on my own.
The difference between cats and dogs is when you call a dog, he comes. When you call a cat, it goes to voicemail. Fair. Worst food memory. I don't know about worst, but an less than pleasant one that comes to mind by saying that is having... I can't remember if it was Christmas or Easter, but it was some holiday period. I had gotten ill, but I had also eaten a shitload of chocolate. And then I just remember stumbling into the bathroom as I think about 15 years old or something, and just filling the sink with a thick brown liquid that was thick. It looked delicious. It looked like pudding. And I went, oh my god, it's so disgusting. That looks nice, and washed it down. So that's not a great memory. Any time I've been sick hasn't been amazing, but I don't remember most of them. It's kind of the thing. Oh no, I do remember being sick and then eating a pork pie and then immediately vomiting up the pork pie and being really disappointed because I fucking love pork pies.
Pork pies are disgusting.
Pork pies are delicious, and you will not teach me otherwise.
Gross.
You can beat 40 scholars in a single fact, but you cannot beat an idiot with 40 facts. I thought this was going to be a point about fighting. I could probably fight 40 scholars. They usually look like little skinny guys, don't they? Fuck them. As long as I get to pick the scholars. I'm sure there's a few buff ones out there that I'd be... probably not so cocky with. What is your opinion about Chris Langan? I have no idea who that is. So there you go. That's my opinion. Can confirm pork pie has done the exact same thing to me. What, in general, or that you just had it happen once? Why did the aliens choose to send their drones to New Jersey? More interesting places exist. Which fucking aliens, to be specific? And I assume that in most films where aliens send something somewhere, they're sending them everywhere. You just are experiencing it from the view of one specific place. Very few films go worldwide. I heard that I'm a cock block when I'm drunk. I know that I have a real bad habit of trying to wind people up who are very, very chill. If you're too chill, I'm like, I will make you annoyed.
He likes to push my buttons.
I'm not talking about you.
No, you do it with me as well.
But I'm not talking about you.
I'm like, babe, we need to do this thing. And he's like, and you're just like, yeah, of course we could do that. And you just stand still. And I'm like, no, come on, we need to go. And you're like, yeah, go. And I'm like, oh my god, move. And then you've got this smirk on your face and it makes me want to punch you.
But again, I wasn't actually talking about you. I know, not everything is about you, darling.
You love winding me up when you're drunk.
Why would aliens need drones? Depends on what kind of aliens they are. They might be little, like a smudge in a jar. They definitely need drones then. What are they going to do otherwise? I don't know what a smudge is, but I imagine I've given you a picture there. Ginster Cornish pasty actually gave me salmonella poisoning.
Oh, God.
Not something I want again. The pasty or the salmonella. Well, they're never that fucking great either. And it depends where you got it from. Oh. But yeah, that sort of swings back round to the kids getting sick. We're pretty sure they got it from milkshake. Not 100%, but neither me nor Mrs. Sick had milkshake. I had chips and a burger, and she just had chips because she needed something without gluten in it. And that's literally all we could fucking get. Yeah, so that's always fun. Aliens are just having fun with us. Who could blame them? I mean, humans aren't that fun, though. That's the problem.
Boo.
Now, unless they're making really shitty shows where they just make humans compete. That could be interesting. When I was 5, I ate a whole bag of yellow raisins and I promptly got sick and threw them up. Just to be a fun couple lodged themselves in my sinus. To this day, the smell of golden raisins is death. Golden raisins sound fucking disgusting on their own. I mean, Mrs. Sick doesn't like raisins at all.
Can't stand raisins.
But, yeah, like, aren't yellow ones, like, not properly shriveled? So I imagine they're even grosser.
I thought yellow ones were just green. Green grapes.
I want to make a French-Canadian tortère, which is a meat pie. Okay? You could do it. I believe in you. You go, you make that meat pie, you make it the best meat pie, and don't give yourself salmonella doing so. Oh. The South Park episode where Earth was a reality TV show. It would not surprise me if it turned out that Earth was a reality TV show. If there are drones, you can bet there is a queen behind it. Keep an eye out for men who dress prettier than your wife. Okay, will do. Gluten-free limits your eating options. Yes, it does. That's like
I am very
kind of
well
the
aware.
point. It's better than it used to be. And it's not because Mrs. Sick has celiac issues. It's just we are 97% certain that whenever she eats something with too much gluten in it, it just makes her feel awful. We tried to get it diagnosed in many ways, including many cameras in many holes, but it seems to have come up with fucking nothing, which is super useful. But we stopped making gluten-y stuff for her, and she stopped feeling so bad.
I haven't had my results for the celiac test.
Have you not?
Nope. But I don't think I am, because if I was, like, even like...
Feel like we'd know.
Yeah, because I've eaten like chicken with batter on it, and that didn't affect me. But if
she eats a small amount. She's usually okay.
If I eat bread, I feel terrible.
But if you eat a lot, you feel like shit. If you eat a little bit, you're like fine. Blood test can confirm it. Yeah, a blood test can confirm it. But the fun part is, if you don't eat a shitload of gluten beforehand, it can't, because there's a specific antibody that comes into your bloodstream.
I wish my doctor told me that.
Yeah, it would have been useful information beforehand. And then, so we started having fucking gluten every day for a while. And then the first test that was going to do it, they were like, oh, we're expecting you to do multiple things. And we couldn't do that all at the same time because everything was fucked up. There were so many things where just a little bit of information that would have been very useful to have been told just wasn't communicated to us. And it made it so that it was about a month that you were doing gluten again, wasn't it? Best part of, at least.
Yeah.
What's my favourite colour? Varies. I think as you get older, favourite things should become less and less.
This is when you just start saying beige to make people fuck off.
I don't like beige, I'll be honest.
No, nobody likes beige.
There's a few colours I very like. I like a good burgundy, because it's just a very nice colour. And I like an electric purple in the vein of the Cadbury's chocolate bar colour. I also like Cadbury's chocolate because it's fucking lush. But yeah. But it all depends on the thing. Like at my desk, I have a lot of orange, but only as highlights to things. I have a keyboard with an orange highlight in the corner. My chair has little orange seams on it. My headphones have orange on them, and I wouldn't say orange is a colour that I give a shit about, but I quite like how it looks. I think after getting one thing that had it, I was like, okay, I might as well get a few now. But yeah, not a favourite colour, but in this context, I think it looks nice. Any thoughts on the Aliens and the Dan Da Dan anime? Haven't seen Dan Da Dan. Keep seeing it come up on Netflix and think maybe we should have a look. I don't know if you've checked it out yet. I know you have a habit.
No.
No. If Mrs. Sick hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, but I've not really been motivated to do anything.
No. Mm. But it's being very advertised at me, so my brain's like, oh, I should probably try watching that. Who seeks the Holy Grail? Nobody should. I already have it. It's mine. You can't have it. Damn it. That's exactly how I made orange my colour. Well, because of computer stuff for some reason being black and orange being like a weirdly default colour scheme. To be fair, it's usually like the nicer stuff that has it. Cheaper stuff that isn't quite so good. But yeah. But yeah, I'm not saying that I don't like orange. It's just I wouldn't call it my favourite colour because I don't have a favourite colour anymore. I am a fence sitter, yes. I'm a fence sitting piece of shit.
Like a cat.
Original school bus yellow was loaded with lead. That explains a lot. I mean, you could just see school children just licking the shit out of a bus. I mean, why not? I prefer plaid. Plaid is my favourite colour. That's probably a good one. What's your favourite colour? Kilts. I want a job naming car colours like anthracite, amaranth, or crystal moss. Crystal moss. That's a fucking stupid name. That's made me genuinely slightly annoyed.
That's a stripper name.
Are there any coconuts in Britain? Yes.
Yeah, we get them imported.
We get them imported. I'm sure that there's like...
They also float on the ocean to our shores.
Well, I assume that also that they're grown in like greenhouse places as well. It's probably not impossible.
Not really. Like, you probably could, but it's not really worth it.
Now you're going to have to check. Because what if you're wrong? What if they're fucking everywhere? What if they're secret coconut bays? If I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows. Exactly. I love the color orange. It's used by Buddhist monks and some high security prisons.
They are not grown in Britain.
Ever.
Despite the fact that they require a constant warm, humid environment. They said that because the amount of energy it takes for them to grow efficiently enough that you would be able to sell the coconuts. I'm
not talking about someone trying to sell them, that they just grow a coconut tree just because fuck you, I can grow a coconut tree.
Yeah, but people,
it's like a rich person hobby.
Yeah, I'm assuming somebody rich does it, but...
Someone somewhere definitely does it, therefore I'm right. Coconuts migrate. They come with a tiny boat over the channel. I thought they migrated with swallows.
Apparently they're also difficult to take care of as well.
I don't know why. It's just a big nut, innit?
No, the palm leaves overgrow and they can end up like causing problems with the plant and stuff.
Well, then they're just not trying hard enough. Need coconuts, look under a kilt. I mean, obviously. Lamo actually read my comment. Oh my god. I read a lot of comments. Some people I try to avoid because they comment a little bit too much and they know who they are. Sometimes I have to check the name to make sure I'm not just reading one of their comments for the 6th time in a row. Because that gets pretty fucking annoying. Wasn't there a whole British Empire and colonies things? Coconut supply seems logical then. I mean, now there's just international trade, so I don't think there's much difference. Oh, I'm not answering that one. It's a good question, though. I'm going to ignore the question, and I'm just going to talk about the fact that I have been accused of being an artificial intelligence, which is fucking hilarious. Like, as if it's a good point. This person is an AI because it disagrees with my stupid fucking opinions. It's like, that's not how that works. Being disagreed with doesn't make something AI. And to be honest, most of the AI things I've ever heard have been spouting complete fucking gibberish. Like it seems to be... You what?
Like you.
Oh, fuck off. In my experience, most of the nonsense misinformation I've ever heard, and most of the AIs I've heard have been saying something that isn't true, or they've just been saying something someone else said.
Just ask him a maths question.
I mean, for the most part, depending on the AI, they really don't do well with maths questions. Jesus Christ. I like the fact that people have already gotten quite comfortable with answering questions using AIs. I saw a story about someone got very irate that they were correct about something because an AI had told them a completely wrong answer on a maths question, and they just somehow assume they're magically right, which is fucking wild. I've seen your drawings. You're not an AI. Are you talking about the sick thing, or are you talking about the things that I make out of it? Because those are, an AI would never do some of the shit that I pull. You can tell by the lack of hundreds of fingers. I mean, to be fair, I should have more fingers, I'll be honest. I could definitely use a couple of thousand more.
God, imagine how much work you get done.
When I imagine someone who's just like covered in fingers, you wouldn't walk anymore. You'd finger everywhere. You just lie down and just crawl across the ground with all your many fingers. Because what would be the point in using your feet anymore?
Millipede sick.
Exactly. You'd 100% millipede about. There's no point in standing up anymore. You could nap everywhere. I guess you'd have to like know where you're going and have some way of navigating. But still.
Unless the fingers were sent.
Finger who? Just finger everywhere. Finger the world. The AI on my computer will never answer any political questions. I can see that. They're quite cagey about that shit, mostly because people like try to push all sorts of stuff into it. There was I mean, when they first started doing chatbots, especially, and the internet would just make them racist like almost immediately. It was fucking wild. It was kind of funny, but also like, Jesus Christ, you people are determined. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. I mean, to be fair, I would only need to sense it, even if I was asleep with all my many fingers. Mrs. Sick is a great artist. You're a great artist. Many.
No.
You could give everyone the finger all at once. I mean,
oh my God, you could.
I don't know how many fingers could fit on the average, like, human scale object, but I feel like it's not 8 billion. I feel like that's slightly more fingers than a 6'3" person could possibly have on them. We might have to figure this out. How many fingers could exist on a person? I wouldn't ask an AI though, because they'll just tell you 12. Imagine all the whiskey glasses you could hold. If I was nothing but fingers, it would actually be very difficult. Holding things.
You'd just like undulate, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like, the thing would just like flick off. Well, you could put fingers into the fingers until you have... Do you mean... Oh, right, you said onto. That just makes it even more monstrous. Just like a finger with a finger on the end, but forever. And it just goes out. It would start to become kind of spidery. Oh. 9,575,674,463 fingers. I am sure that is extremely accurate and not at all made up and pulled out of your ass, much like a finger. Fractal fingies. That is my superpower, and I'm sticking with it. They call me fractal fingies. It just fingers just start growing in like a wave and go out further from the body. Nothing but fingers. That is, I have horrified myself. That is so many fingers. It's one of those things
that would mean you'd have fingers like on your eyeballs as well.
Oh my God! Thank you for that.
Yeah, I know you would hear that one.
Now, would that count as poking yourself in the eye or poking your eye in the self? Apparently, the average surface area of a human is 18,000 square centimeters. So I call it about 18,000 fingers. That seems reasonable. That would be an amount that would make a certain amount of sense. That's still a lot of fucking fingers. Think of all the noses you could pick. Again, I think you'd struggle to do most things except for movement. You can't really approach anything. If we're just saying like the surface area of a human was all fingers, it would make many tasks very difficult. I mean, your armpits would be fingers as well, and so you couldn't really put your arms down. They'd kind of stick out to your side. You T-pose constantly, and your legs would have to be spread quite far as well. You know, you don't want to crush all these fingers that you have, so you'd be all spread out, not really able to do much. Except for moving. I am 100% right on that, and I'm not changing my opinion. Do I have to change my opinion now? Oh, that's cute. Mrs. Sick has handed me her starting of the scrapbook for her sister, and it is very sweet. Have you intentionally left little spaces for her to put her own fingers? For God's sake, brain.
Yes, to put her own fingers.
Yeah. We need to find a finger and put it in the book. Right, take it back. That's good. Good job. I don't think I want to pick the nose of other people. Yeah, people who pick other people's noses are fucking cosmetic surgeons. Holy cow, I listed for nearby bars. What listed nearby bars? Or did you just say something out loud and then it started telling you bars? I know that if I say, Alexa, set a timer for 2 hours. And now one of you will forget and get a surprise in 2 hours. That's always fun. Hey Google, set an alarm for 2 a.m. I don't give a shit.
Your alarm's set for 2 a.m.
No, you're not getting set for 2 a.m. Fuck you. I'm gonna undo mine. Except, where is it? Wait, that's it. Yep, turned it off now. There we go.
You forgot about Siri.
Siri, self-destruct. I don't know if Siri does that. I know Alexas do that. That's quite fun.
The girls freaked out when they first did
that. Great, my phone is trying to set alarm. Thanks. Look, I never said I wouldn't abuse my power. I got one once from my sister-in-law. Now we're married? What the fuck? I'm very confused by that. Your Google has an English accent. My Google is not Google. It's the fucking... I have a Samsung. I'm pretty sure that's the Bixby voice. Not that anyone gives a shit about Bixby. But I didn't set one on my phone. To be honest, I forgot that it was even possible to do Google because we're an Alexa household. Not that you should. They're probably a terrible idea, but they're so fucking useful. They make such good intercoms. Because I really dislike shouting across the house to get people's attention. I hate it. I hated it when people did it to me. I hate feeling the need to do it. But I also don't want to get up. There was one that a gamer tried who named himself Xbox Turn Off, and all his chatty opponents would mysteriously disconnect. That's really good. That's really, really good. I know a lot of people did that. I know some people like bleep when they say words when they're talking about it to try and avoid annoying the piss out of people. Obviously, I'm doing it on purpose because fuck you. Speaking to an AI assistant is weird. The ones that try to continue, like with natural conversation shit, that's fucking weird. I like commands. I really hate that mine, like, says, good evening, my name. I'll do that thing for you now. It's like, just do the thing. Don't fucking hail me. I hate that shit. I've tried to turn it off and I can't. And I find it less endearing than if it did nothing. So yeah, wank alarm is waking up with your. Oh my goodness! Yeah, she's gonna deal with that. One of the kids came in. Although to be fair, we're about to end the stream now because it has hit 10 o'clock. When your alarm should be going off in an hour and a half. But yeah, thank you all for coming, and we'll catch you in the next one, or see you in the week, or whatever you decide to do to interact with this fucking shitty channel. And yeah, I'll see you later, and have a good one. Bye!